Today we're going to talk about 10 reasons that a campervan might not be for you. Hi guys, welcome back to dubventures. If you're new to the channel, I'm Tom. So guys, as it says in the title, 10 signs a campervan might not be for you. Now, we absolutely love our campervan, but owning a campervan, it's not without its challenges. So today, I'm going to go through 10 reasons, if you're thinking about buying a campervan, why it might not be for you. Now, reason number one is, if it's not going to be for you. If you don't get on with your partner inside your house, now what I mean by that is, I mean like, you know, little petty things, like if you don't put things away, or you're like arguing over who's got the remote control, or you know, if the door's not been shut behind you and things like that, little petty things that really annoy you and sort of like really rattle you to the point where you end up arguing and things. If that is what you're like in your household, believe me, when you're in a campervan, in a small confined space, that feeling that you've got, that little things that your partner annoys you with, is going to be amplified. So what I'm basically saying is, if you argue for nothing in the house, you're going to argue for a lot in a campervan. The second reason that a campervan might not be for you is, if you don't like the outdoors or nature. Now what do I mean by that? I mean being out and about in the country, you know, you might smell like manure smells, you know, you don't like being out and about in nature, you don't like maybe insects and bugs and things. Basically, you don't like being out and about in nature. The chances are that having a campervan isn't going to be great for you, because the chances are when you're out and about, you are going to be in that environment where you're out in nature, and if it bothers you on a day-to-day basis, it's definitely going to bother you if you have a campervan. The third sign that a campervan might not be for you. If you hate simple problem solving and it stresses you out. Now what do I mean by that? I'll give you an example. We had it once where we was in, I think it was in Scotland, and our rock and roll bed in the van, it wouldn't lock into the locking position. Now, I couldn't figure it out why. So we had a choice. We either drive all the way back from Scotland and not camp out, which would have like been about a 6-hour journey, or get under the rock and roll bed with a simple toolkit and basically, you know, try and sort of like figure out what the problem was, why it wouldn't lock into the locking position. Now, it took me about an hour to figure it out. Now, what it was, like one of the bars that lock into the bed, like the adjustment had moved and things, and I had to work through all the processes. Now, what I'm saying is, if you get really stressed out at little simple problem solving things, probably not best that you get a campervan, because there is going to be times you need to figure little things like that out. The fourth sign that owning a campervan might not be for you. Do you like cooking? Answer that question seriously to yourself, because if initially you thought no, you ain't going to enjoy owning a campervan, especially when you're out camping and so on and using the vehicle for what it's for. Because when you're out in the wilderness and things like that, you can't just order a pizza, you can't order a takeaway. If you want to eat and eat generally healthy food, now I know that all you viewers do eat healthily, so you know, we don't need to like talk about junk food. You can't just snack on crisps and things like that. But yeah, you're going to need to like cook a decent meal, and if you know you're traveling everywhere, you need to stay healthy and everything, and you know, stay fit. Now you can't just eat junk all the time, so you are going to have to like cook food. Now that takes preparation, thinking, you know, and obviously getting everything like together, like all your cooking items and so on. But if you hate cooking, you ain't going to enjoy that, because you know what, you ain't going to do it, and then that's going to have a consequence on your health. So don't like cooking, campervans ain't for you. The fifth sign that owning a campervan might not be for you, and this is a big one, and it's something that we have to like deal with, you know, every time we go out pretty much, because it is something that does bother me, but we work around it. Do you like the rain? Everyone's like, no one really likes the rain, do they? So now when you own a campervan in the UK, it's pretty much going to rain if you go on a camping trip. If you hate the rain, you ain't going to enjoy yourself. You can't go to a campsite and expect to set everything up and then it's chucking it down, because if you're just going to sit in the van and like tap your feet and hope that the rain's going to go off so you can go out and about, it's very likely that it's not going to, because again, if you're watching this and you're not in the UK, it does rain a lot. Hate the rain? Campervan ain't for you. Guys, if you are new to the channel, don't forget, hit that subscribe button. You done it? You done it? Excellent, you're now part of the dubventures community. Right, number 6 on the reasons why a campervan might not be for you. If you don't like changing your plans, maybe at the last minute, you know, you might have like planned a trip for months or weeks or whatever it is. If you don't like changing your plans last minute, then a campervan probably isn't for you, because sometimes, a lot of the time, your plans change last minute. Now, the biggest one that I can give you for us, with the lockdown situation, we were supposed to be going to Switzerland. We should have been in Switzerland now, but with everything that's going on, we had we had a lot of the campsites booked. You know, we had like a lot of the journey planned. We had like friends that we were meeting, like arranged and so on. And everything changed, and then we had to change all of our plans. And then, you know, we've done like various other trips, like, you know, Lake District trips, you know, we're planning a trip to Scotland and things. So you need to be adaptable. So if you're not the type of person that can change your plans last minute, you know, and it might stress you out doing something like that, campervan might not be for you, because like I said, there is a lot of times that you do have to change your plans last minute. A quick example of that is, we went to Scotland once and we was going to sort of like stay at a campsite, but stupidly we hadn't booked it. We got there, it was in the middle of nowhere and it was full. So we had to change our plans last minute, and sort of like it was a bit of a rush around and everything, but you know, we dealt with it. Me and Brooke, we dealt with it, and we managed to get another campsite booked in. Yes, it was about 40 miles away, but these are the type of things that you need to do. You have to be able to adapt and change your plans last minute if need to. If you can't do that, you need to like rethink if a campervan's for you. Number 7 on our 10 reasons that a campervan might not be for you. And that is, now I'm going to ask you a question and let's see what your initial reaction is. What does it make you feel like if someone says to you right now, you can't have a shower for maybe 2 or 3 days? How does that make you feel? Because if you don't have a shower in your campervan and you're out in the Highlands of Scotland and you're not staying at a campsite, or you know, you're staying at a campsite and the facilities aren't open and you're well camping, whatever it is, there's a big possibility you ain't going to get a shower for a good couple of days. Now that's where cleaning wipes are going to become your best friend. But how does that make you feel? Like, you know, if you're in the van with your partner and things like that, you know, you might still be on your honeymoon period with your partner where you've only been together like a couple of months or something. You don't really want them to see or smell you, you know, like, you know, in a certain way and everything, because part of owning a campervan is there's going to be times you are going to smell a little bit. You know, listen, say what you want. You can keep as clean as you want and stuff like that, but if you ain't showering, you know, you are going to have times where you're going to have like a bit of a smelly armpit situation. But how does that make you feel? Because if that kind of like worries you, stresses you out, makes you think, oh, I don't want to do that. Listen, that's one of the realities of van life. And if that bothers you, then maybe van life and owning a campervan maybe it isn't for you. Now that brings us on to the next one, toilet facilities. Now, yes, it's not a glamorous thing to talk about, but it's reality. So let's just quickly talk about it. If you own a campervan, now here's the thing, not all campervans have got toilets. We don't have a toilet in our campervan. We're in the process of at the moment of actually, we've ordered like a folding portable toilet, because we've got a Scotland trip. We're doing the NC500, a bit of a modified route coming up soon. So subscribe for that, because that's coming up soon. You'll really enjoy that. We're doing a 10-day route around Scotland. Now with that, we knew that we had to buy a portable toilet, and we had to figure out how to get the toilet into the van, because we don't have a lot of room and everything the way we've set our van up. But anyway, that's another video that's been on before. But what I'm saying is, if you do have a toilet facility in your van, well, you know, well, think about it. You know, if you go to the toilet and things, your partner's going to be in the van. Now, I'm sure that they'll go outside and things, but that brings us on to another one that we've already mentioned. What if you need to go to the toilet and it's absolutely chucking it down outside, and you're in the Highlands of Scotland, it's blowing a gale and everything, and you need to go to the toilet and your partner's got to stand outside and everything? It's not very glamorous, is it? But it's reality. That's what it's going to be like. So if the thought of sort of like having to go to the toilet in your camper van, and obviously having a bit of privacy in your camper van, if that's something that you're like, oh, I don't want to do that, might not be for you then owning a camper van, because it is going to be like that at some point. And number 9, which is again kind of following on from that, if you like having your own privacy, you need to kind of like think how much privacy you're going to get in a camper van. Because when you're on a campsite, yes, you've got privacy, but there's always going to be people near you. If you're wild camping, yes, you're going to have privacy, but at any given time that privacy could be taken away from you. Because we have heard from other people where they've been wild camping somewhere in the middle of nowhere, they'll be parked in a really secluded spot, then all of a sudden another camper van like pulled right next to you, sort of like as if they've got like rights, that they're like, oh, a camper van, we will go and knock on the door, oh hi, we've got a camper van and things. Now, we have been told of people before that has happened, and if that's happened to you, put it in the comments below, where you've been in the middle of nowhere and all of a sudden a camper van just pulls up next to you and like assumes that they can kind of like be your buddy, you know, and everything. Yeah, they'll be your buddy, we'll speak to you in the morning, but don't like pull up alongside us and sort of like, you know, start knocking on the door, oh hi, you know, where are you guys from, and so on. But yeah, you're never ever going to ever totally be away from any like complete privacy, because there's always a chance that like someone will come over, and there's always a chance as well that like you know, the law, because the law with wild camping, you know, it's very difficult to understand, especially in like in the UK. I'm sure it's different all parts of like the world and so on, but there's also the possibility that the law will come over and basically 3 o'clock in the morning, bump, knocking on your window, yeah, sorry, you've got to like move on. If something like that scares you, then, you know, again, you need to like reevaluate if the sort of like camper van scene is going to be for you, because there's a possibility that might happen. You need to be adaptable with everything, and you need to be able to, again, and it comes back into like the problem solving bit. You can see that all these like reasons, when you think about it, they all sort of like, they all mix as one thing, and you need to have like this complete thing where to have like a successful like camping trip and things, where they all need to work together. Because again, if you do get moved on, then, you know, you need to problem solve. You can't say it's 3 o'clock in the morning, it's dark, we're in the hills, oh, what are we gonna do? You can't just drive around for the rest of the night. You've got to problem solve and maybe have a backup plan. You know, like if you stay like in a wild camping spot, maybe it's a good idea to sort of like say, look, on the possibility that we have to get moved on from here, 10 miles away from here, there's another camping spot, we could go there. At least then you've got a backup plan if something doesn't quite work out with that. So again, that's another reason. And that if you don't sort of like, if you're not willing to be able to do something like that, then again, maybe a camper van's not for you. Right guys, you've made it this far. Now, I've saved, this is like a personal favourite of mine, number 10, till last, because this is something that it kind of took practice for me and Brooke to sort of like get this right, where we got to a stage where we was understanding each other and we weren't getting like stressed out with each other. And that is organising inside of the van. Now, the thing is, inside the van, you need to keep it tidy and everything needs to be in its place. Now, if you move one thing, make sure you put it back in exactly the same place so you both know where it is. Because with me, Brooke and Thor, when we like staying in our van, there's not a lot of room to move about and things. Now, there's been times where we've not been organised properly and we might be cooking something and I have to get something out of the pod. Well, if we've got the rock and roll bed down, to get into the pod, the rock and roll bed needs to be back up. You then need to like go into the pod, you need to like open the cupboard, you need to get into back, you need to pull things out. Now, in the process of doing that, you're gonna have to be moving like your towels, your clothes, and you have to like fold them up and like you can't just pull everything out and just like chuck it, because when you look behind you, there's just gonna be a big sort of like all your clothes and everything's gonna be everywhere, and then you're just gonna be completely unorganized. So everything's got to have its place, and you know, in its proper place, and it's got to go back in the exact same position every single time that you use something. And on that note as well, every time you create a little bit of mess, you need to bag it, bin it, and have like a designated area in your van where you're just like keeping the all your bin items. And then if you're on a campsite and stuff, every time you go out, go and put it in the bin and stuff. Don't leave any rubbish in the van. Now the thing is, me and Brooke, we've got our own like designated jobs in the van. Like, you know, like just for example, Brooke will be the one that sort of like sets the rock and roll bed up. I'll be the one that like does the cooking. I take Thor out. Brooke like takes the dishes and cleans them, you know, like while I'm like cleaning like all the cooking items, like the cooker and everything away. You need a plan, because like I said, in such a confined space, if you're both just like messing about over each other and sort of like looking for things, it will get really, really stressful. So what I would say is, you know, you do need to plan and sort of like organize everything. Now, if you're not the type of person that has like, that you're tidy and planning and organized in the van, then it will quickly turn very, very stressful. You're not going to be able to find things. I mean, when we first started going camping, the amount of times I was like, where's my phone, or where's the tablet, or, you know, where's Thor's lead, or, you know, like where's the snacks that we had in like a bag and things, and, you know, where's the when you go for a shower, like all your cleaning stuff, you know. And it was just, it can be chaotic, and I mean chaotic. And we quickly found out for ourselves that what you need to do is, you need to have your own designated job inside the van, and everything needs to go back in the same place every time you've used it. If you can't sort of like stick to that, it will get out of control very quickly, and you'll become very stressed, and you'll end up shouting at each other. So on that point, if you get stressed easily and you're not very good at keeping tidy and keeping organised and sticking to your own designated jobs to do things, it might not be for you, because it will quickly get out of hand. So guys, putting all of them sort of like 10 reasons that owning a camper van might not be for you. Now, as you can see, it all kind of like comes into the same thing. You need to be organised, and you need to be an adult at the end of the day. Now, we have spoke about this in previous videos, and, you know, we'll just quickly like tell you guys this, because we think that this is really important. When you're in a camper van, you're in a confined space and things like that. It's going to be stressful at times. Now, the chances are you're going to argue. Now, what I will say is, right, have a rule before you go on your camping trip. If you have an argument, be an adult about it. If one of you is the type of person to storm off and slam doors and things like that, listen, if you're going to do that, you're going to do that. It ain't nothing anybody's going to tell you like that's going to change that. If that's the way you are, that's the way you are. But what I will say is, be an adult about it. If you're in the Highlands in Scotland and your partner is storming off like into the Highlands in the darkness and things like that because you've had an argument, and you're like, oh, I'm not going after him or her, or, you know, whatever the situation might be. Listen, you're in the Highlands, you know, just like a couple of steps that way, there could be a drop, there could be a fall, there could be this, there could be that. Be an adult about it, laugh about it, you know, argue about it, and then just say, oh, we're on holiday, look where we are and stuff. Don't dwell on silly little things because somebody didn't put the towel back, or somebody didn't do this, and, you know, because it is going to happen. It is going to happen. But when you're camping, and especially if you're well camping, don't be going storming off and like, and you saying, ah, I'm not going after them. Just come on, we're adults. You're on holiday. Don't be crazy, because, you know, in the wilderness, you just don't know what's out there and things. So come on, be adult about it. Now, all of those things that we've put together in that list for you, like I say, you know, it's easy. It's not an issue. We're like saying, oh, you know, a camper van might not be for you if you can't do this or this or this. Listen, all the things, you can easily deal with it all. And you know you can, you know what I mean? It's easy. Just get on with it and stuff. And when you get out there, enjoy your camper van, because it's going to be the best thing that you ever do. And all the little things that we've said, I mean, we've had our camper van for just over 3 years now. We've done a lot of trips and things like that, you know, and all those things that we mentioned, all them things were kind of like at the beginning of like having a camper van for us. Now, yeah, you still have little like silly arguments and things like that, but we've got the rules, like was just mentioned. Don't forget, you know, we're adults, just like, oh, you know, yeah, whatever, just get on with it. And then you both kind of, oh, type of thing. But you know what, laugh about it, just get over it. But all those things, when you put them all together, if you can figure it all out and sort of like just say, yeah, yeah, he's right, let's deal with it, your camper van experience is going to be absolutely fantastic. Now, I know the title says 10 reasons why a campervan might not be for you. But you know what? Come on, you can get over those reasons. You can make it for you, and you can like get out there and start making memories and absolutely love it. So guys, that's it for today's video. If you have enjoyed it and it's been informative, please press that like button, and if you are new to the channel, please press that subscribe button. Be part of the dubventures community. Done it? It's there. Just under there, there's a little button that says subscribe. Press it, press the bell. That just gives you a notification every time we put a video out. Fantastic. And it's free as well, so absolutely fantastic. Right, until the next video guys, we've got a lot of exciting videos coming up soon, so do stay tuned. And like I said at the beginning, we are doing the NC500, a modified route, coming up soon in Scotland. Can't wait for that. So until the next video guys, bye for now.